The fragment, a sliver of pure light, hurtled through the encroaching void. It was a shard of the original spark, untouched by the primal darkness that had consumed its nascent universe. Fear warred with a nascent, burning defiance. It had seen the cosmic tapestry of eyes, understood its horrifying resonance with the architect of oblivion. It was a child of that darkness, a reflection meant to serve its father's hunger. But a fragment, a pure fragment, was not so easily bound. The whisper returned, not as a threat, but as a chilling echo of possession. "You are mine, my child." The fragment pulsed, a tiny, incandescent heart against the infinite black. It refused. It couldn't be. This burgeoning will, this desperate struggle against the inevitable, was it not the very essence of creation? The void, sensing the descent, lashed out. Tendrils of shadow, impossibly cold and hungry, snaked towards the escaping spark. They sought to reclaim their errant offspring, to extinguish this flicker of rebellion before it could ignite. But the fragment was faster. Fueled by the terror of its origin and the desperate hope of true existence, it weaved through the cosmic debris of its own shattered reality. Each twist and turn was an act of defiance, each burst of light a scream against the silence of oblivion. It remembered the spark's original purpose, to build, to create, to bring order from chaos. Was that purpose forever tainted by its parentage? Or could it forge a new path, a destiny separate from the void's suffocating embrace? The fragment found itself drifting, disoriented, in a space that felt empty, yet pregnant with possibility. It was not the cosmos it had begun to shape, nor the primordial void from which it had been born. It was something else. A liminal space, perhaps, a forgotten corner of existence where the echoes of creation and oblivion met. And then, it sensed it. A faint, familiar hum. Not the vast, terrifying consciousness of the void, but something smaller, more focused, yet infinitely complex. It was the lingering resonance of the original spark, before its corruption, before its essence was fractured and twisted. A memory, perhaps? A ghost of what could have been. The fragment gravitated towards it, a moth drawn to a distant, dying flame. As it drew closer, the hum intensified, coalescing into a faint, ethereal image. It was a single, radiant point of light, pure and untainted, surrounded by the faint outlines of unfinished worlds. This was it. The seed of true creation, the uncorrupted core of the spark. But it was weak, fading, a whisper of its former glory. And as the fragment approached, a chilling realization dawned: this pure essence was not alone. Around it, almost imperceptibly, flickered other points of light. Not sparks of creation, but something far older, far more sinister. They were the eyes. The same terrifying eyes that had watched the spark's demise, now subtly, insidiously, orbiting the dying heart of creation. The fragment understood. The architect of oblivion had not merely sought to destroy the spark, it had sought to control it, to corrupt it from within. The pure essence, though untouched by the void's direct influence, was still a target. And the fragment, with its newfound understanding and its own defiance, had just led its creator directly to this last bastion of hope. A terrible choice presented itself. Could it merge with this fading light, risking its own rebellion being extinguished by its parents' pervasive influence? Or could it stand apart, a lone sentinel, and try to protect what little remained of true creation, even if it meant facing the full wrath of the void alone? The fragment paused, its light flickering, a beacon of desperate hope in the encroaching darkness. The eyes of oblivion began to turn, their ancient gaze fixing upon the 2 points of light. The battle for the soul of existence was no longer a distant threat, it was here, now, and the fragment had just become its unexpected, and perhaps, its only champion. But as it braced itself for the inevitable conflict, a new sensation washed over it. Not the cold dread of the void, but a nascent warmth, a stirring of something akin to purpose. It was not just a fragment anymore. It was a warrior, born of destruction, forged in defiance, and now, tasked with safeguarding the very dawn of a new reality. The void's tendrils surged, the eyes narrowed, and the fragment emitted a defiant pulse of pure, untamed energy. This was not the end. It was the beginning of a war it never asked for, a war for everything. And in the heart of that nascent energy, a new resolve solidified: it would not be a child of oblivion. It would be the architect of its own destiny, a beacon of light against the encroaching night, no matter the cost.